I was one of those long-haired peace marchers. I was very involved in feminist issues. I was an activist. I was hired by the probation department while I was still in college to work with teenage girls that needed a place to live. Girls would languish at juvenile hall and stay there, for months, many times, just because I couldn't find a place for them to go. We had the motivation, the desire, the vision, the will, and a lot of good friends.
The average age of a homeless person living in the U.S. is 9 years old, 3.5 million people. That's 1.35 million children. In LA County, 80,000 homeless each night. Los Angeles is the first third world city in the United States.
I started running away when I was like 14. I got involved in drugs and being around people that sold drugs. I was in so much trouble. I couldn't even, there's no escaping it.
Kids are on Skid Row because their parents are here. Eviction, spousal abuse, poverty, personal crisis, physical and mental illness or disability, substance abuse, lost jobs, domestic violence, cuts in public assistance programs, lack of affordable housing. Dad went to prison, mom strung out, grandma's had enough, nowhere to go, no one to help. Welcome to Skid Row.
I got taken away when I was 4 years old. My mother was on drugs, speed to be exact. And she used to hit my brother and my sister.
So I grew up with my mom, and she would just bring different people to the house. And in front of me and my sister, there'd be violence. Like the guy would be hitting her. And we were scared.
My uncle from my dad's side, his wife, finally found us, and we were homeless out here in California. We had got moved out here from New York with my father, and he left us out here, so that's how we became part of the system.
She kicks me out again. I'm out on the streets. Now I get into methamphetamine, I get into smoking crack, opiums, sniffing, all kinds of drugs. I eventually got tired of this because I was doing the impossible just to get drugs,
Transitional housing is so important because without it, these young adults would be on the street, sleeping in the parks. They have no families and no place else to go. When they first come into the program, we ask them to fill out a lease agreement, which basically is up to about $200 a month. The money is put aside for them in a penny lane interest-bearing account so that when they leave the program, they're able to find permanent housing.
The first thing is my rent. After that, I'll save at least $50 in my saving account. Next year, I'll be going to Valley College, and I'll be taking computer classes.
After I left the streets, I went to a covenant in Hollywood. It's a covenant home. It's like a transitional, but it was only for one night. I met a guy there, and he told me, hey, you know what? You should try penny lane transitional housing. So I hitchhiked my way. I didn't have no money.
Right now it means everything, because if I didn't live there, I wouldn't have anywhere to go.
Everything changes. They give me a place to stay. They give me food. I didn't know there's a place like that. I didn't even know they existed,
I mean, they help out. Living skills is amazing. They teach you how to manage your money.
Place is paradise, my own place. That's what I thought. I never had my own place. I always had to sleep in a corner. It's like infested with rats and roaches, and basically it was bummed out. And I came to Penny Lane, it's like, wow.
Therapy's been helping me out a lot as well. At first I didn't like it, but I learned to love it. It really helps out a lot, having somebody to talk to.
When I first came, I believe I was like 105 pounds, 100 pounds, really skinny. really pale looking. I felt like I was gonna die already, as in like I was gonna collapse. I have no food in my system.
I mean, it prepares you for the real world. Because I don't think any of us knew what we were doing until we got into the program.
So when I started eating a lot, drinking a lot of water, you know, everything, I started growing. And it was just like, it was a big moment for me. It was a big turnover in my life because I did not even expect to see myself a few months later from that point. I didn't.
I'm about to start crying. I wouldn't want to say my foster homes were the worst, but they weren't the best. And I finally feel like cleansed now that I'm older. It's not as hard. Oh, I can't believe I started crying. And that she's gonna be just fine. Because I'm gonna be the best mother to her.
I realized that I needed to change my life. I'm just thankful for that. Happy to finally be here. We're just a bunch of youngsters that had a hard life. That's all I ever wanted, is to be safe.
Wendy, my case manager, she motivated me into going back to school. You know, she always told me that degree is everything. You know, friends come and go, men come and go, but you always have that piece of paper, so.
They were positive role models to me. Some were like father figures, some were like mother figures to me, and they still are. And I don't know, it was a great change, you know, in many ways.
It's an amazing program, it is.
We're all in this together, and we have a responsibility, and mostly for children because they're the most vulnerable. I want these kids to know they can be good mothers, good professionals, and that they can be successful.
My life goes on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear the real, though far off hymn, the tales I knew.
Thank you so much for everything.